From Illinois, today we have a gentleman who is the vocalist and lyricist and poet for the band Everfelt. Welcome, Adam Steglich, from Chicago to Indie Tea Demos to Discovery. How you doing today?
Thank you very much. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Great. The first thing I wanted to say is I've been listening to your stuff for a while. I heard a clip of Silhouette a while back. I think was that Silhouette I heard. It was just that little clip.
Yes.
I was just like, what was that? You guys had this esoteric slash almost death metal sound. You sound a little, it was driving me mad. I was like, who is that? Peter Murphy has to have been an influence. Bauhaus, off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been, and I've heard that so many times too. But before I started doing, really doing music and really getting it out there for other people to hear, I had not heard of them before that. And I've listened to them. I've been listening to them over the last few years now. But when I first heard about them, someone was telling me that I reminded them of them, and that's what made me go listen for the first time. So
I heard them for the first time in 1983 in a movie with Bowie called The Hunger. And when I saw Peter Murphy doing the beginning of the movie, it's like he's in a cage and he's singing Bela Lugosi's Dead, because it's a vampire movie. And,
yeah.
And then you see David Bowie in another scene. I'm like, wow, he looks radically different than what he was just, the way he looked. I didn't know it was Peter Murphy. I thought, is that the same guy? No. I'm a Bowie freak.
I want to say thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
I appreciate that.
My pleasure. So, Adam, for anyone who's never heard of Everfelt, how would you describe the band's sound to someone who's absolutely never experienced it? And don't use your press release. Just talk to me.
Yeah. For me, if I were to describe Everfelt to someone, to me, it's I love the term psychedelic groove metal. It's like a heavier Doors, if you will, but with some Pink Floyd influence. I always say Corey Robinson is the David Gilmour of metal. My lead guitarist. He also writes the rhythm. We write the songs together. And Momo, actually our bass player, it brought Silhouette to the table. So it's a lot of influences. All of us have been influenced in different ways. But if I were to describe Everfelt to someone, it's really that dark melodic undertone with beautiful melody. And we really like to make it beautiful. Not only that, but we're an atmospheric, captivating, cinematic type of music. We're going to captivate you with the sound because it captivates us. And so that's the best way I can describe it.
The first time I had ever heard of you was when I saw that clip of the live Silhouette thing. I'm going, who on earth is that?
That's actually live audio too.
It is. Well, it was well mixed. Whoever did it.
Yeah. It was really well mixed. We captured the live audio from our rack system, and then my bass player mixed it afterwards and added it to the video that Silly Goose Media captured. And but that is live audio.
Well done. So
thank you.
So Everfelt formed in the year 2022. What was the spark? Like, what happened that made you guys go, we're going to do this?
All right. So the idea of Everfelt was born of my best friend, Charles Lingerfeld. I wrote music with him. I wrote my first album with him when I was 19. It was an album, the name of the band, it was a two-person band. He did all the music. I did the vocals and lyrics. And he was from Antioch, California, actually. Antioch, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Where they make the holy hand grenade?
Yes. That's where he was from originally, and I met him in Kentucky, in a backwoods town, Kentucky. Anyway, so that was our first, and we did music over the years for a long time, and in 2021 he passed away when we were working on a project called Angerfelt. Cancer took him. His first round of chemo he never came back from. We were working on an album called Angerfelt at the time. I just vowed from that moment forward that whatever music I was a part of moving forward in my life was going to be called Everfelt, because I wanted him to be forever felt in the music. That's how the name was born.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, he was an amazing person and amazing musician, dad, everything. So he was only like 47 when he passed away. So
sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much. But he's at every show. He's at every practice.
In spirit.
That's right. Exactly. And it's a beautiful thing, because now Everfelt has become about, have you ever felt music like this before? Have you ever felt what the song is saying? And so there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. But, in 2022, I had that idea in 2021, came up with the concept of Everfelt, started some pages, started the concept, and I always had the writing and really looking for someone who could I was looking for a guitarist really that could write with me that would allow me to sing. I wanted to actually, yeah, Corey. And so I found Corey on a Craigslist ad, believe it or not, through a drummer.
That's really scary.
Especially these days, man. So, so I found him on a Craigslist ad. I actually had an ad up there looking for a band. An old drummer from that knew me from a band I was in before. He knew Corey. Had Corey over at his garage. They were trying to put a project together. The song "Stranger" and "Medicate" are two songs that Corey was playing the very ideas for when I first met him in 2022 in August of 22. And from that day forward, that very first day I met him, I just knew when he started playing, I just started freestyling vocals. There was just a connection.
It happens in like a higher realm, right?
It truly does. Really, it happens to you. Well, and in a way, because you become the channel for the music. And when you really learn how to get out of your own way in music and in life, you can do beautiful, magical things. And so music taught me that. And he does that too. And now, we've had a lot of change-ups. The bass player and the drummer we have now are also very fluid. Like, we just write so fluidly together. But when I say it happens to us, what I mean is that you learn how to become the channel, and our writing process is like that. Like, Corey will bring or Momo, our bass player, he'll bring a riff to the table like Silhouette, and Corey with Stranger, and we'll freestyle it, and we'll record all that. We'll listen back to what just naturally came out of us. And when I write the lyrics, I always write lyrics that are philosophically based on the themes we all face as humans and as souls. With the writing, with the lyrical concepts, I really wanted to make sure that we were relating to the dark tunnel that you may be in, but also showing you the door we found. And so for me, I think a lot of the music I love that I grew up loving talked a lot and related a lot to the darkness, because you have to truly find the light, you have to be willing to brave the darkness, the real light. And so, because the candle flame flicker is never so bright as in a dark room. And so what I mean by that is, if I were to, this room's lit up right now, if I were to light a candle over in the corner, you wouldn't even notice except for the flick of the Bic. But if I turn all the lights off and I light that candle over in that dark room, the whole room illuminates. Because even the smallest light illuminates the darkness. And so all of those concepts are really prevalent throughout our writing too, as a band.
I was talking with I don't know if you know her, Lizzie of Kathleen Turner Overdrive in Australia.
I do, yes.
Oh, you know her? Okay. Well, we were talking about that when she was on the show. Well, the whole band was on the show, and I was saying we don't really. Some people, they look out into space and they see a lot of darkness and just little points of light, but we don't see the infrared spectrum or the ultraviolet spectrum, so we don't know if we're really seeing everything that's out in space.
That's what's mind-boggling, and that channeling, that going, like, for instance, I was talking about a writing process with the lyrical concept. Like, for me, when the guys come with a riff and we're freestyling in the practice spot, and we're recording, whatever I say, whatever the music naturally makes me sing about is what I end up writing about. A lot of times I almost use a lot of the same lyrics and things I'm saying. And so this way, the entire song's fluid. That way, I'm allowing the music to dictate what it's saying as well, and through me, and allowing it to kind of speak to me in a way of, this song feels like this, or it feels like that, and what should it be saying? And the song Silhouette is really about the shadows of your former self trying to make doubt and create problems for you and the person you're becoming now. And that song, when I first heard Momo play that bass, that opening bass line on Silhouette, I was like, that's exactly what it made me feel like. Like there were shadows, like there was this.
I was very moved. It caught me right away. I was like, what?
And Stranger is a song, we can talk about that one.
You handle vocals and lyrics, so you're pretty much the voice and the words.
When I first started writing songs, because I've always written. I published my first book in 2006.
It's fascinating that the lyrical seed is based on a 2013 poem. Dug that out of the archives.
Yeah, I did. And
what was going on in your life at that point when you wrote that poem?
man, I was that was actually a very tumultuous time for me. I was kind of estranged from my young daughter. She was 6 or 7. Her mom wasn't letting me be a part of her life. I had moved to Florida to see my dad, and got kind of stuck down there, kind of lost in a lot of ways. Was feeling like I wasn't making the right choices. There was a lot going on, and at the same time, it was also a time where I was realizing that I need to become more because I am more. And it's when I really started to take that truly, I knew about it before, but to truly take the inner journey within, and to not be afraid of what's possible for myself and for my life. Because I think a lot of times we're scared of success more than anything else. And so take the risk to go back, and even if it meant to go back to Kentucky where my daughter was and still try to be there because the chance might come where I can be back in her life, and all these different things that I was realizing that were not what I wanted to do, not what I thought I was ready for even. But the song Stranger, it's really about realizing that the only way that you can truly become someone new is to not be who you used to be. And that new person is the real you within. And to you, it's at first a stranger.
I did notice that the theme seems to be essentially killing the old self, the death of the old self,
Yes.
ego dissolution, transformation,
Yes.
becoming someone that you don't even recognize yet. And then,
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty heavy territory. What kind of philosophical or spiritual concept are you getting this from? Are you Theosophist, Rosicrucian, Freemason?
Well, for me, definitely, I wouldn't really put a label on it. I think that more than anything else, I do know that there's few empirical concepts. There's few things that are empirical that, for me, in my life, one of them is that we are eternal. I know we're eternal beings. Also, I also want to preface it with this. I believe religion is man-made, and I believe it's used to control the masses. I don't believe in religion at all. But I do believe in the eternal soul, and I do know that when we were given the opportunity to come here, it was not only a school of sorts, but I think we chose to come here as souls before we came here to experience the beauty of death in a way. When you know that the soul is eternal, there's different ways of seeing that. And so that's very prevalent throughout all of my writing, the eternity of the soul. And the truth of the matter is this: we spend far too much time feeding the physical and the mental and very little time feeding the soul.
You said you wrote some books, you said?
Yeah, well, I published a book called Winds of Perception, Scratching the Surface. It's a book of poetry. And I think it was 2004, same year my daughter was born, Ariana, actually. She just actually had her first baby, so I just became a grandfather, which is crazy. Yeah, that's wild.
You look like a grandfather.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, it's that Native American blood, I think. Or and then, to talk more about Stranger. Stranger, for me, really is another thing for our band. To me, that song really encapsulates what our sound is, more than any other song. We do a lot of different versatility. We have a lot of different style. We have a lot of different styles of music that we do. But for me, it really captures that psychedelic, captivating, atmospheric sound that you can kind of find prevalent even when we're playing heavier stuff, throughout all of our music.
What would you consider, prog rock or psychedelic? You said psychedelic groove something.
Metal. Psychedelic groove metal. The reason the metal's in there, I know you're asking about Slayer before. That's a big influence of Corey. The reason the metal's in there is because we do have some heavier tones. We do have, a lead. We do have a lead blazing through almost every song that we have. I mean, that's the signature thing about our music is you will have a lead, maybe 3 in our music. We really like to layer the music and
very you stick within you create your sort of your own genre, but you're very consistent with it. It's not like I'm very inconsistent. I'll do like a classical song and then I'll do a rock song, and everyone's like, where are you coming from? I couldn't even do an EP if I wanted to. I don't even have like 3 songs that are alike. But your album is very cohesive. It's very cohesive the way Everfelt.
Thank you.
Particularly your debut album. It was like, whoa. I listened to that.
Thank
you. Check your Spotify. I think I listened to it 3 or 4 times in the last 2 days.
The EP with Reach and Gave It Away and all of that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interestingly,
I almost started that with I'm gonna give it away, but I thought, nah, cliche.
Oh man, I love that song. Gave It Away is one of my favorite songs off the EP.
Into the Fire, actually, I'm hooked on Into the Fire.
Oh, it's a good one, man. You know, that song's about being willing to brave the fires of life and let it burn away all of the you that's not you, man. Because, you know, we convince ourselves sometimes of things that aren't true. We're our greatest deceivers. You know, and sometimes we have to be willing to brave the fire and burn away everything that wasn't meant to be us. Because, you know, growing up and experience and conditioning and the raising and the abuse, whatever you went through, it unfortunately helps you become who you become. And some of that needs to be shed. Some of that isn't you. And so, and that's what a lot of our music's about, too.
Well, I also believe that ourselves that we, I think some people don't embrace the shadow work that we have to do. You know, like everyone,
That's so important.
you know, everyone would like to think, oh, we're all light and love. No, we're good.
No.
You know, if God created everything, then He also created evil. Embrace it.
You know, you have to be willing to sit with your darkness, because that's truly where because you can't really appreciate the light until you've experienced true darkness. And so,
one of my mentors said that to me when I was growing up.
It's the truth. It's a real thing. And I think you know, music's helped me get there. You know, I had a really dark and rough life growing up. So
I'm going to quote you. Commit the murder, swallow the light. Self must die. That's not subtle, Adam. Walk me through what that line actually means to you.
Commit the murder is really about the murder of the self you used to be, of the self you don't want to be anymore. You have to get rid of that. And so it's commit that murder, swallow the light. They're going to, the darkness and the doubts and the lies and all of these things, they're going to try to take the light that is you from you. Don't let them. Just, you know how when you got something and someone's trying to take it from you and you just swallow it, there's no way they can get to it unless they open up your stomach. So swallow the light. The next line is crawl in further. You must swallow the light so you can crawl in further to that self that you want to become. And crawl in further to self, you must die. And that means to the ego, that means to the former self, that means to the doubts, to all of the sludge from the past, everything that all of the things that have built up over the time, all of the conditioning that you've experienced that may not have been what you should have been experienced, depending on how you raised. There's all different ways of looking at that. But I think that we all are looking for that in life. I think that we're all looking for the answers to why we're here. And I think we're all wanting to know ourselves. We want to know who we are, why we're here. And I think that music can help us answer that.
The phrase awaken to be the stranger repeats like a mantra or a ritual in the song. Was that intentional, or were you thinking about a meditative or even a psychedelic quality of like a repetition that you wrote?
Oh, it was intentional. I really, with that way the chorus hits, I really wanted it to be awaken to be. I wanted it to almost like an awaken, like, because the song's so creepy and then it just hits with that. So I really wanted it to awaken to be, you know, the stranger beneath. It's beneath the fragile, you know, that faint sound that's beneath. Awaken to be that stranger, because that's the only way you're going to continue to be eternally become more than what you were yesterday. You can't just be complacent. You can't settle.
Do you like Yes music?
Oh, hell yeah.
Because Awaken, Fragile, you just used those words and it made me think of those songs. Awaken, I think, from Going for the One was one of their zenith.
Yeah.
You said those two words, I thought, oh, wow, that's really interesting. Because I would never have thought that Yes would be a part of your influence. Because, like I said, sonically, I kind of felt there was Tool, Pink Floyd, Dream Theater, Bauhaus, Slayer. Well, you said Corey's the Slayer.
You know, as a vocalist, my, you know, Corey he truly is. But we have Brian Moore, our bass player, who makes it possible on rhythm bass. He doesn't just play root notes. He brought Silhouette to that song was his idea. That song opens with the bass line of the, and that was how that song began for us.
I have to tease the audience. I've already heard it.
I was really glad that you wanted to hear that. To me, that's everything, you know. For the sound of what we do, I can't say that in any way, shape, or form do we ever say we want to sound like this. Like, the reason that we have, I believe, this sound that's continuing to evolve as we keep playing together, you know, we've been together almost 4 years now. And I would have to say that as the sound continues to evolve, it becomes more of a movement for us of like, we just allow the music to happen to us, and then we will, we whittle that down after it happens. That's really the best way to put it. Like Corey will, he'll call me, he'll have a song idea, he'll try to play that song over the cell phone to me. I can't really hear most of it, but he's so excited about the song, so he wants to show it to me.
You can't do that over the phone. I've done that to the noise cancellation.
You can't hear shit. Yeah, so I just kind of tell him I kind of heard it, and then we'll end up writing it later. But honestly, like, you do go somewhere else. Like for me, with the music, it really is an experience. It's not just music. And so, we actually have an idea that we want to try, and I don't know if any band's done this before, but I've had an idea, because we love to freestyle music. Let's just jam music. And I want to do call it Everfelt Fluid, and I want it to be a big show. I want to be a lot of people there, because reason why is I want to just play songs off the cuff, and when we get done playing the song, I want to let the crowd name the song. I'm going to record it all live, unplugged. I would love to do that. I think that would be a really cool experience to...
Everfelt Fluid, is that what you said?
Yes, yes.
Like gender fluid?
Yeah, that too.
One of my other guys.
Most definitely. Yeah, man, I mean,
I never heard that one before.
That's new for me as well. But, I do love that you brought up the second verse of Stranger. The shifting and flex is stirring to wake from this surface sleep.
You really are quite the poet.
Thank you.
Your lyrics are incredible, and the music style is, well, I mean, I can only speak from personal and mystical experience, but I really felt very Everfelt when I didn't know about the death of the previous number, but I really felt it. It was really powerful. And, I mean, there's always something about any band that kind of grabs me, but not in a metaphysical or esoteric way like that. That was like, almost like a Yes moment for me. Yes is probably my all-time favorite prog rock band. I mean, I like all the genres, but and like I said, I keep coming back to that with you. You don't sound anything like Yes, but you have that sort of John Anderson quality about you, the way you write, the way
thank you.
Sort of thing.
Thank you very much, man. We were talking about influences for the band. Well, for me, as a vocalist and writer, my greatest influence, when I was 15, I heard the Dirt album, Lane Staley and Alice in Chains. That changed my life. I've always been singing since I was young, but when I heard that, I heard Lane Staley do what he does, especially when I heard it unplugged live, I was like, that's what I want to do. And so, and then it evolved from there. Floyd and CCR and the Doors were always, since I was young, but then when Alice in Chains really hit me, that changed everything.
How about Audio Slave?
Yeah, Chris Cornell. Yeah, Chris Cornell with Audio Slave. Also Soundgarden, Scott Weiland and Maynard and Jonathan Davis from Korn. All of these were great influences on me growing up. And and John Fogerty from CCR, Jim Morrison from the Doors. All of them were great influences on me. Godsmack.
That speaks to what I was saying earlier about, like Bowie, then Murphy, then
Bowie too.
Steglich. I was just like,
thank you.
Sort of astral thing that's getting passed around. I think that happens with a lot of different genres, but in this particular, it's sort of hard to categorize your genre. It's not death metal, it's not prog rock, it's not, like, you can pigeonhole a lot of bands, and this is what's so cool about indie bands. You can't,
No.
You just can't.
No. And what I really love about what you were saying about the album being cohesive is because for us, what we love about our music is when we do an album, we're doing, because we actually, to be completely transparent, we just signed with Soda Records a couple of months ago. So when I first started writing songs with Charlie back when I was 19, I would take a poem and would convert it to a song. Right. So I wouldn't just write straight songs, if that makes sense. I wouldn't just write a song. I would write a poem, then a song. And it was that process. So now, obviously I write from what the music naturally makes me freestyle vocally off the top of my head. I could do that for hours, freestyling vocals with music. 7 or 8 years ago, just something clicked and I just was able to channel with the music like that. It's such a great entity all its own that I can never make music mine. I must become music's. And so when I allow myself to become that, and instead of trying to control, instead of trying to make sure, instead of any of that, truly getting out of my way right? Out of especially the mind, getting that out of the way and allowing the soul to speak, allowing the channeling of the music through you. With Into the Fire, for instance, that song only has one chorus, and it actually is only 3 minutes and 33 seconds long. But we literally allowed it to be the way it was. We wanted it to be what naturally that song was for us. And so we didn't try to make sure it had two choruses and a breakdown and three leads, or, well, there was no cookie cutter design. It was allowing the music to determine.
I believe somewhat in numerology. When I saw the timing on that 333, that's like, I guess they refer to those as angel numbers.
Yes.
I've looked at that up, and I thought, oh, how interesting. 3 minutes and 33 seconds long.
Wasn't on purpose either. So we thought it was pretty interesting. We thought it was interesting too after we got, obviously did the recording at Loud and Clear Studios, and that was the final version of Into the Fire. We were like, what? It was wild.
So I thought I was the only one that noticed. Okay, so you did notice.
No. I definitely noticed that. I definitely know all about the numerology. I even with the 3, 6, and 9 that Tesla talked about, and making sure everything's divisible by threes. I do that with my coffee scoops. I do that with a lot of things actually.
A long time ago I used to play around with options, and everyone always has a gimmick, and mine were the Fibonacci numbers. So,
Fibonacci is amazing. That's ancient geometry, my friend.
My late husband was a math teacher.
Oh, I see.
He couldn't believe I failed algebra in the 7th grade twice. Okay.
So did Einstein.
I heard that too. In fact, one morning, this will blow your mind. One morning, this is when we first were together for maybe the first few years. I was making pancakes on a Sunday morning. He says, "You ready to eat?" He goes, "Oh, I'll be out in a minute." Hour goes by. I said, "These things are turning into like dry puffs over here." He goes, "I'll be out in a minute." He comes out with a notebook, like 12 pages of scribble. He goes, "I did it." I said, "Did what?" He goes, "E equals MC squared. Old news." He goes, "No, you don't understand. I did it from scratch."
What?
Yeah, he did. He was genius. He couldn't balance.
Wow.
He couldn't balance a checkbook. He didn't understand compound interest on a credit union checkbook.
Yeah.
But he could do E equals MC squared. I'm like, he already did that,
Isn't it wild how that happens, how that works, though?
Your bio says that, music itself is the foundation of your existence, and you've even said that you become the music.
Yeah.
That is very powerful stuff. When you do that on such a personal level, does this affect your relationship with the others like Corey, Ryan, Momo, Danny? I mean, is this like the great chaos agent that makes Everfelt felt?
Just in a nutshell version. I grew up, never went to the same school for more than 1 year. Lived all over the eastern United States seaboard, not because my family's in the military. I was abused by many different stepfathers and fathers, went through every type of abuse you can imagine. Was taken from my family when I was 11 and put in an orphanage, and didn't come back until I was 18 and a half. So that's just a nutshell version of how my life was. And I was the oldest of 7, so I raised kids in time. I could remember, with my mom being a single mom for the most part, with 6 kids, because one of her children was given away to adoption. So I never got to meet that sister. So I say 7, but really there were 6 of us in the household. I always remember Mom told me when I was 5 that I grabbed her hand and told her that I knew I was going to do something with life, and I knew I was going to. She says that I said I was going to be a rock star. I don't know if I said that at 5, but what she says. And even then, to even know what it meant to be meant for something, I've always believed in the eternal soul. We do come back until we fulfill our purpose here. I believe in purpose. I believe in the reason we're here. I believe in meaning behind this life. And so, for me, even then, at a young age, I knew that. But I remember being 7 years old, singing in church and doing an a cappella version, a solo a cappella version in front of like 300 senior citizens, and but I was just wanted to sing it my way, and I remember that distinctly. And for all my life, I would sing, and I remember being like 10 years old, and when New Kids on the Block was a big thing, and I remember having like all of my friends, we would like try to do choreographed dance moves, and we would sing, and we would do all of that, and I wanted to be the one to choreograph it.
And you said your daughter was how old?
She's 19. I have 4 children. I have my 2 girls and my 2 boys. My boys live with me. My 2 girls are from different moms. They stay with their mom, but I see them, all the time. I've always been in their lives. But my boys, I've married my wife 9 years ago, 8 years ago. Been together 9 years, and her boys were 2 and 3 when I got with her. They never knew their biological father, and I've been their dad ever since. We're about to actually adopt them. soon. So, I always drink hot tea on stage. I have water and hot tea with me always, and I thought it was very interesting that we were doing NDT because he is a big staple of my life and coffee. But yeah, I
Chamomile.
thought I thought that was fitting. So Archlight Studios out of Kentucky, they reached out to me on Instagram and they were like, "We've been following your music for the last 2 years. We're a real production company. We want to create your first music video if you'll allow us." And I'm thinking this is a scam, like there's no way that an actual production team, it wasn't a scam. Go check out it's on YouTube, it's on all of our channels, everfelt.net if you're listening to this. Everfelt.net, you can find the official music video for Stranger. Anyway, Archlight Studios, we're going to be doing our music video for Silhouette in August as well. We're going to be releasing Silhouette in September.
You're going to make the world wait until September. Oh, I feel very privileged now because, I was dying to hear the rest of that. So I was like, tease me with 30 seconds of this. No way. You're going to make people nuts with that.
I know, that's why I did it, man. That's why I did that.
Good marketing. Good marketing. Good marketing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to be like, when is that thing going out? All right. So someone listens to Stranger for the first time, like maybe after this interview, what do you want them to feel when it's ongoing or over? Or how do you want them to feel about what do you want?
During the song, I really want them to close their eyes and try to take the journey with us, into the self. I want them to not be scared of what they're going to see, what they're going to find. I want them to be willing to open themselves up to what they're capable of, and realize that they are an ever becoming eternal being. We are never ever who we're going to be. We're always becoming more. That's the idea. That's the idea of the gift of eternity. So I think that song speaks to that and awaken to be the stranger beneath.
You are not edging or making it softer. You are going straight at ego death, transformation, the uncomfortable business of becoming someone new. That is like, wow, very bold, very like.
Thank you.
No one can ignore it. Once they've heard it, it's like you can't unhear this. You guys are willing to go to the darkest corners. I just Pink Floyd was similar to what you did, not exactly.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd, well, let's remember Sid Barrett had a lot of mental issues, and you don't appear to be that way.
Not anymore. No, I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I knew I'd get you for something, Mike. I knew I'd get you a pretty little dog. Okay.
That's great.
So, the song you are hearing coming in right now is Stranger by Everfelt, and we have Adam Steglich. Now, Adam, I know we talked about this. Am I going to see the whole band on at some point?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And we're looking forward to it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you are hearing Stranger by Everfelt. Adam, I want to thank you so much for being here on NDT Demos to Discovery. And
truly my pleasure.
God bless you, man. You are cool. You are really one cool dude.
So are you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
Everyone, visit Everfelt, and it's one word, exactly what it spells like, what it sounds like. Good night.
Right.
Thank you.